All right, let's dive into a thought experiment that has been twisting philosophers' brains for literally thousands of years. It's a real mind-bender about identity, change, and what it even means for something or, someone to stay the same over time.
So to get us started, let's kick things off with a pretty heavy idea from the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. He said, "The universe is change. Life is opinion." Now, I want you to hang on to that quote because, trust me, by the end of this, it's going to be the key that unlocks this whole puzzle. So, where does our story begin? Well, like a lot of these big ideas, we have to go way back to ancient Greece, and it all starts with the legendary hero Theseus and his, you guessed it, his famous ship. The historian Plutarch tells us that after Theseus came back from all his epic adventures, the people of Athens absolutely treasured his ship. I mean, they kept it as a monument, a living, breathing piece of history. They maintained it for centuries, keeping it ready for battle as a tribute to their hero. But here's the thing. This wasn't just a one-and-done repair job. Nope. This happened slowly, over hundreds of years. So whenever a wooden plank started to rot, the Athenians would just carefully pull it out and replace it with a brand new identical one. And this just kept happening, plank by plank, beam by beam, until, well, you can see where this is going. Eventually, not a single piece of the original ship was left.
And that brings us to the big, juicy question right at the heart of this paradox. After every single part has been swapped out, is it still the ship of Theseus, or has it become something completely new?
Now you might be thinking, okay, cool story about a boat, but this isn't just some hypothetical problem about one ship. This exact same question actually pops up all over history and in different cultures in some really fascinating ways. Think about it like this. You've got the ship with its slow replacement of parts. But then, in Japan, there's a famous Shinto shrine that gets completely torn down and rebuilt every 23 years. You could even apply this to something like the US Senate, right? With its staggered elections, members are always cycling in and out. It's never a total reset. In every single one of these cases, the core question is exactly the same. Does the original thing still exist? Yeah, let that number sink in for a second. That Shinto shrine has been through more than 60 of these complete rebuilds. We look at it today and we call it a 1,400-year-old shrine. But is it? Is it one ancient thing, or has it actually been 60 different brand new shrines, one after the other? What this really suggests is that our whole idea of identity, what we decide to call the ship or the shrine, it might just be a temporary snapshot. It's like we're just slapping a label on a pattern, even while the physical stuff that makes up that pattern is constantly changing. And this is where it gets really personal. Because this whole thing isn't just some fun philosophical game about objects out there in the world. No, it's time to turn that mirror around and look at ourselves. I mean, just think about your own body. It's in a constant state of flux, right? New skin cells are always replacing the old ones. The fingernails you have right now are made of completely different material than the ones you had a year ago. And get this, even your memories, the very things that feel like they define who you are, they fade and new experiences take their place. Which, of course, leads us to the ultimate question. Biologically, they say that pretty much every cell in your body is replaced over about 7 years. So, are you the same person you were back then? For that matter, are you even the same person you were yesterday?
So how in the world do we solve this? Well, maybe we're looking at it the wrong way. Maybe this paradox isn't a problem that needs a solution, but a fundamental truth we just need to accept. Maybe the answer is to just embrace the idea that everything is fluid.
Fluidity is just the natural state of the universe. Nothing gets a pass. Not ships, not shrines, not governments, and nope, not even us. Change isn't the exception to the rule, it is the absolute unbreakable rule. And that brings us full circle, right back to where we started. All of a sudden, that quote from Marcus Aurelius isn't a puzzle anymore, is it? It's the answer. The universe is change. That's the physical reality of everything. Life is opinion. That's us, creating a sense of identity, of sameness, just by applying a label, an opinion, to this ever-changing flow. So I'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. If all your physical parts, and even your memories, are constantly being replaced, if you are just as fluid as the ship of Theseus, then what's the constant thread that defines you? What is it that makes you, you?